Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, welcome into a Thursday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We're going to have some fun today. I like this show's lineup. I like what we're doing here today. This could be a lot of. That's why I got my Winky hat on today. I'm in a froggy mood today. I hope you are too. IndyCar Tim from our Dallas affiliate, FanStream Sports DFW. What's up, partner? How are you?
Please don't ever refer to that hat again as your Winky hat.
Oh, Winky hat. It's got the smiley face Winky hat. It's from the Teaser Boys. Send me some free Teaser, boys. I need some. I'm about out. Yeah, so had about 6 cups of coffee this morning. Been up early. It's been storming here. It's a stormy morning in Tampa Bay. So if you're out there on the roads, chill out. People don't know how to drive when it's dry, let alone when it's wet. So just kind of chill out. So anyway, we got Erik Erlendsson's going to join us at 10:30, and we're going to debate if the Bolts have done enough to catch the Panthers, if they're good enough, if the Panthers are just going to run roughshod through the damn thing once again. I don't think so. We'll see. We'll have a nice debate, though, with Erik Erlendsson. He'll probably talk a little soccer with me because Tim doesn't talk soccer.
What's that?
The boys won the semifinal last night against Guatemala. So they're into the finals against Mexico on Sunday. That's going to be a bloodbath for the Gold Cup. So we'll talk a little soccer with him and obviously some lightning as well. And TJ Rives is going to join us, Bucs sideline guy. And TJ is going to enter into a top 10 debate with me, top 10 Buccaneers of all time. And Tim's going to throw in his as well. So write down your top 10 Buccaneers of all time. We've all been tasked by the Buccaneers to give them our top 50 list. So we've turned them in, and they'll be putting out there. The fans are having a vote in this. They have a media vote, and they're going to have a players vote, I think an alumni players vote as well. So it'll be very interesting to see. At the top 10 for me, I kind of came up with, I think there's probably 15 to 20 legitimate ones. So, yeah, hold on one second. As I said, quiet when we're doing the show, interns. All right,
quiet on the set.
Yeah. If you all want to talk, go outside. So I got to lay down the law.
Okay, we're going to pull the curtain back a little bit. JP has literally a studio full of interns today.
Give him a studio shot. They're gone. They're gone. They didn't even close the door. Last thing I said before the show starts.
Literally.
Keep it quiet and don't get up. The first thing they do is get up and start talking in the studio.
And leave the door open.
And leave the door open.
Somebody's getting fired today.
I'm docking their pay. Today. Oh, we love that. All right, so let's get into it. Last night, it feels like 3 days ago now. The Rays played yesterday. I'm doing all my notes. I'm like, wow, was that 2 days ago or was that? Yeah, it feels like a long time ago. Yeah. So yesterday, it's between the right drops a little bit. They win 6-5, and they had lost, 4 or 5 coming in. So that's what they really kind of needed this one yesterday to stop the bleeding as they go out on a 10-game road trip. I mean, and Josh Lowe said something that was a little scary. He said, "We're tired." I'm like, uh-oh. If you're tired now,
that's not good.
Wait till you get back from the road trip. Although sometimes being at home's a little different because, you got a lot of home stuff to do. When you're on the road, you just get to lay around the hotel and nobody bothers you. When you're home, you got some honey-do lists. You got the kids are running around. They want to play with daddy. So, yeah, it could be like a little bit more stressful, especially like when you're just home for 3 days, which they were. We're out on the road, came home for 3 days, and now they're back out on the road. So that's the part of the schedule. We knew this was coming. But, yeah, so Josh said, told the Times yesterday, I think we're just kind of tired coming into this homestand. Kansas City was hot. Baltimore was hot, and it's hot here. Wait a minute. Other places it's hot and it rains? What? I thought it was just Tampa. I thought everybody freaked out. We're going to play outdoor baseball. We'll never get the season in. It's going to rain every night. There'll be rainouts every day. How are we going to, it's going to be hot. How are we going to play in the hot? Yeah, it's hot in Kansas City.
Does John Schneider know that it's hot everywhere else too?
Yeah, it's hot. It's hot in Baltimore and it rains. Yeah, we learned. Shocking development. Yeah. Anyway, so this was one they really needed yesterday. After losing 2 close games to the A's, both games they could have, should have won. They almost got swept by the last place A's. Yeah, you don't want that. You know, especially at home.
No.
Especially at home. So, and yesterday they're down. Pepio was kind of meh. He was really having a hard time gripping the ball, you know, in the heat and the humidity. And so he just couldn't get his spots, gave up a couple home runs. They were down early, and then Mangum gets him going with an inside the park home run. How about that? Inside the park home run, which the most shocking part about that was the center fielder. What's his name? The guy that catches everything. Having a brain fart. Anyway, somehow he misses the ball that's in the park. It would have landed in the park, and it went off the kind of the heel of his glove and off his wrist. He just kind of mistimed it, which was weird because that dude catches everything. And Mangum just circles the bases. And so they get on the board there, and then Josh Lowe homers. He hits a bomb. Yandy hits a absolute missile and puts us up 4-2. And then my man, Chandler Simpson, bloops one into right field, RBI. It's 2 outs, steals second base, comes home on a grounder up the middle. Huge run. This is why Chandler Simpson has to be in a lineup every day, and I'd like him at the top of the lineup, please. But he just creates runs. That's a run created by Chandler Simpson. His speed, contact, everything. So that makes it 6-2. Feels like just another add-on run, right? But they're going to need it. And in the 9th inning, you say to who started the 9th? I think it was I forget. Anyway, they give up a home run. It's 6-3, and then Uceda comes on, loads the bases in 6-5 with 1 out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God. And the numbers 3 and 4 coming up. Like, this is not going to end well. And he freaking strikes out Kurtz to end it on a 3-2 change. He runs the count to 3-2, bases loaded, 6-5 game. This mofo throws a changeup that starts right in the middle of the plate and then dives down. Strike 3. If he takes it, it's ball 4, game's tied. That's a hell of a pitch. That is a ballsy pitch. And he got it done. And they win 6-5, and they head out on the road. That was the game.
I have the inside the park home run here if you'd like to see.
Oh, let's see that. Yeah. And Mangum was just cruising out of the box. I mean, he was
shot back into straightaway center. Clark's going to go back. He's at the track, at the wall, and it's over his head, off the wall. Mangum on his way to third. They're going to wave him all the way around. He's going to get it inside the park.
Didn't even have to slide.
Mangum to center field.
How about
that? The mayor. Yeah, that's that guy catches everything out there, especially the ones over the wall. But there's a little position out there. It's like a camera position, and there's a guy in a little box there, and he's got a computer in there. He's doing stuff, so it's a little weird. And I don't know if that threw him off, but that's where because he was jumping into that area, and whatever. Mangum circles the bases. They're 24th inside the park home run in
that was
team
Denzel
history.
Clark, by the way, playing center field.
Denzel Clark, yeah. In team history, which is the most since the Rays were born. I mean, the most in the major, which is interesting.
Right.
They have the most inside the park home runs. I don't know.
By the way, you
talk about the
Rays. Talk about the Rays having questionable lineups with Clark with Cash. The A's leadoff hitter is Denzel Clark. He was their speed guy. He's their leadoff hitter.
It's 198.
He's batting 189 on the season.
189 now.
He's down to 189.
Dude, that lineup yesterday for the A's, just go ahead and read it off since you have it handy there.
Yeah, no, I do have it right here. Let's see. So Clark, 189. Soderstrom, 252. Rooker, the right fielder, 270. The DH Kurtz, 241. And that is the best, other than the 270 is your best with Rooker. Muncy, third base, 213. Wins, the catcher, 190. Urias, second base, 239. Thomas, your left fielder, 111. And in the 9-hole, Schumann, your shortstop at 239.
Yeah. There's a lot of nobodies in that lineup.
That's a team without a home right there.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, I feel bad for A's fans. I mean, you're putting that
A's
lineup
fans,
out.
though? Like, are there A's fans?
There were.
I've never met an A's fan since the 80s.
There were. Proud franchise. Once proud franchise,
Did
I
you
should
know?
say.
Did you know the A's almost moved to Arlington here in Texas?
When was that?
Before they moved to Oakland. Finley was trying to move them to Dallas before they went to Oakland when they were in Kansas City.
Oh.
And the MLB blocked it.
I wonder why.
MLB
eventually they let the Senators move to.
And then in 72, that was what, 68, 67, 68 or so. And then finally in 72, the second version of the Washington Senators, the expansion Senators from 61, ended up moving here. So I don't know what the backstory was, if it was just a big middle finger to Chuck Finley because they hated Finley as an owner, or what. But that was
where were they at that point? They were in
Kansas City.
So it was the Philadelphia A's, then the Kansas City A's,
then Oakland.
Yeah, and then
Sacramento.
They went to Oakland. Then Sacramento, soon to be Vegas.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, that would have been cool to have those 1970s swinging A's here in Arlington. That would have been cool.
That was a hell of a team.
Yeah,
one of the greatest teams of all time.
Definitely.
That was oh my God. Let's do this just for fun. Show how old we are.
Reggie Jackson,
Bert Campaneris, Reggie Jackson, Joe Rudy in left, who made the great catch on Dennis Menke in the 71 World Series that kept the Reds from winning 3 in a row. Jesus, where the hell did that come from? Like, how in the world? Literally could not remember Desmond Clark's name in center field. And I just pulled Joe Rudy's catch from 1971 out of this cobweb. Where the F? How the hell does that work?
Nobody knows what the hell we're talking about.
I have no idea.
Vita Blue
was on that staff. Who else was on that staff? That was a great Catfish Hunter.
Catfish
Hunter. Yeah, Catfish Hunter. I'm trying to remember the center fielder.
Raleigh Fingers.
Raleigh Fingers was the closer. Yeah, this was the 72, 73 A's or 72 A's were one of the greatest teams of all time. And then Charlie Finney just said, "I'm going to sell them all to the Yankees."
Yep.
And the
money and ran.
Said, "No, you can't do that. Can't sell them all, but you can sell a lot of them."
Yeah.
I guess eventually they got Catfish Hunter and Reggie Jackson, and not sure who else they got, but yeah, that was one hell of a baseball team.
Dick Green was on that team.
Sold them all off. Anyway, so any old guys in the comments are like, "Yeah, I remember that, JP." No.
Everybody else is like, "What?
Oh, Joe Rudy?
Y'all are just,
who the hell
they're all like, y'all
Rudy?
are just making up names. No one was named Catfish.
You're just making shit up.
Nobody was named Raleigh."
Yeah, we do that most of the time. I get it. Yeah, guilty. But this time we're not. These things actually happened. So anyway, so nice win for the Rays.
By the
last
way,
night.
Reggie Jackson's biggest claim to fame, quite possibly, not because of his, his field, his stats, and all of that, but he almost killed the Queen of England.
What? In a movie,
The Naked Gun, when he played for the Angels.
By the way, aren't we getting a remake?
Yeah, it's coming out this
summer.
month.
This month. My God, there is absolutely no way in hell it's gonna even come close to the original.
With Liam Neeson,
you just can't do it. You can't do it. It's good because the original is corny. It's like the corniest jokes. So when you try to you redo corny jokes, they're just corny jokes. Does that make any sense?
So my expectations for this are not to be as funny as the first one, because the first one was original. It can't be.
That's my point.
Those are not my expectations. My expectations are for this to just be funny. Just let it be funny in its own right.
It's almost by definition, it can't be funny because it's a parody of itself in the beginning. It was a parody of the disaster movies at the time.
Yeah.
You know, where we had, you know, the Poseidon Adventure and Airplane, you know. So it was a parody. So parodies cannot, when you're making fun of yourself, you can't do it a second time. It doesn't make sense. So I'll give it a chance just because the originals were so good. And
I'm
if you
just
haven't
worried
seen
that
them, kids, go back and watch them. But they won't even get that because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sitting in a, you know, seat and having some kid come up and say,
that
my
was
dad says you walk up and down the court.
You tried dragging Walton up and down the court for 40 minutes every night. Tell your dad to shut up.
Classics. Excuse me. I don't speak jive. Oh, I got this.
And it's freaking Beaver's mom. I speak jive.
I speak jive. Yo, turkey. Yo, jive turkey. I have no idea what we're talking about.
No. There's
OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson.
Back when he was funny.
What's that?
Back when he was funny.
Back when he was funny, yeah. But then seeing him in those movies, you're like, wait,
yeah.
OJ's doing comedy before
he was good. He was great in that movie. He
was great. He's fantastic. OJ was a great actor in his day. He really was. Good. Well, also in the trial, he was pretty good too.
Innocent. He was innocent. Yeah. Didn't do it.
Thomas Casper, please, you're not saying Bash Brothers were part of the 71 A's. Come on, bro. Or you're just bringing up the Bash Brothers as part.
He must just be talking about the A's of the 80s, right?
Of course, Canseco hit 31 home runs before the break for the Rays. 31 before the break. He was in his steroid height. I mean, he was just big old Jose Canseco. Yeah.
He was in a steroid heights too back in the 91 season when the ball bounced off his head and over the wall for a home run, and when he played for the Rangers.
Top 5 highlights of all time. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Jose Canseco. That dude had a run. He did. He was one interesting cat. I got to give him that. Dumb as a box of rocks, but good God. Yeah, my friend,
not very intelligent.
I always tell stories about my good buddy Joe McHugh. I played high school baseball with. He was playing back when steroids were just starting, you know, and he was a left-hand pitcher. And he tells me the story of, this was back in like 87, 88, where he's in spring training out there, and they were sharing the facilities with the A's, the White Sox and the A's, I think it was, and they shared a weight room. And so he'd go into the weight room, you know, to do his 20-pound dumbbell work. And in the corner would be McGuire and Canseco with like 500 on the bar.
Yeah.
Boom. Just yelling and screaming. And they were just like, what the hell's going on over there? Like, that's those football players? Are those baseball? Those are baseball players? Because back in the day, no baseball players were lifting heavyweight. That was not a thing. You didn't do. In fact, it was forbidden. Like, you guys didn't even hardly get in the weight room. Go look at their bodies back in the 70s and 60s. It's just, it wasn't a thing. And so he's like, yeah, there might be something going on over there. And soon it was spreading like wildfire throughout the lockers everywhere. It was a fun time.
Those were great times, man.
When is the enhanced Olympics coming up? Are we still doing that? We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. It's supposed to be coming up in August, the enhanced Olympics. They're trying to shut it down. If you haven't heard about this is a steroid-encouraged Olympics. Yeah. I'm like, yeah. I literally came up with this idea like 10 years ago. I'm like, you know what we should do? Like, everybody signs a waiver. And we like, okay, this is the Olympics for the you want to see what we can really do here. Guys will be running sprints with limbs falling off. That'd be great. I'm all
JP,
for it.
I have to play this now that we've talked about it.
Okay.
High fly ball, right field deep. Canseco back to the track. Look it up. It is off his head, it looked like. And over the top. A home run. Canseco on the top of the head. We'll have to check the replay.
The center fielder's laughing at him.
It went
Doink. Doink.
Laughing out there.
What are the chances?
Must hit something funny.
Doink. Oh, my God. What are the chances? By the way, that was back in the 90s and 80s when nobody went to baseball games. Like, you see,
and that was Cleveland too. By the way,
those huge empty stadiums. Remember, like Municipal Stadium. There's like 2,000 people there in an
Cavernous.
80,000 seat stadium.
Because that was not long after Major League came out. Just a couple of years after Major League came out. So.
Oh, another fantastic movie. Absolutely.
Indians.
All right. Good morning to all our peeps here. Nathan Elliott, good morning to you. Jeff Stutler, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Sergio Biltres, good morning to you. Daniel, good morning. Who else is on there? Kenneth McClary, good morning. We are having a sensational day. Sergio says, not sure if Bolts have done enough, but I can understand they are against the cap. I believe they are. Cap's going up. But I'm very interested to hear what Eric's been on vacation, so I'm very interested to hear what he has to say about all things Lightning. All right, what else we got? Rick says Tim also had a studio full of unpaid interns called his kids. Well, wait a minute.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
Yeah, so did I. Maybe that's further down.
I thought you were going somewhere else.
Yeah. Nathan Elliott says yesterday on the Peter Report podcast brought to us by don't you say other insurance agencies on the show. We're spoiled by another opportunity to the words of wisdom of JP Peterson and Scott Reynolds. Yeah, we did a podcast yesterday, whole hour. We did bold statements. Go check that out on the Peter Report YouTube channel. We went back and forth, and I accused one of the Peter reporters of doing mushrooms. So, and I think he is with one of his bold predictions. Mike H said, I think the Rays have the second highest team batting average, 258, only behind the Dodgers. Yeah, all the Rays offensive numbers are insane. And I wonder if you threw out the first month, they would be far and away.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The May-June 6-week run was historic. Sergio says Toronto and Yankees tied for first now. Toronto caught up the Yankees now, not on the Rays. Yeah, we're in third. We're in third place now. Toronto suddenly got hot. Rick said, did the owner of the A's and Stu bet on the game like trading places? Series loser has to buy lunch and cut more payroll. Can you imagine lunch with John Fisher and Stu Sternberg?
Oh, my gosh.
Like, telling stories of, hey, how'd you screw the fans over? Oh, they'll be doing toppers all day long. Oh, I got a better one. When the playoffs came, I put a banner up saying, thank you, Montreal. Fisher be like, oh, wow, that's good. Man, I don't know if I could top that. Oh, yeah? Well, I'd strung along the city of Oakland for 12 years. Stu be like, oh, yeah? I screwed Tampa and St. Pete for 15 years and walked away from 2 deals. And the last one, I would have made tons of money. That's how bad. Fisher be like, damn, you're good. Damn, you're good. I don't know. Can we do, you know what? We need to do a little skit with that.
Yes.
Little skit. Fisher and Stu go to lunch and they just start trying to do toppers on each other. That would be brilliant. We got to work on that. Script writers, let's go. All right, what else we got? Kenneth McClary says, I just had a thought, as shocking as that might be, but if the A's are going to Las Vegas, do they now become the Las Vegas Aces? The A's and the Aces. Well, unfortunately, that's taken by their very successful women's basketball team.
Is that still a thing?
Oh, yeah. Especially when Caitlin Clark comes to town. No, they draw. They get a good crowd in Las Vegas.
Do they play at the T-Mobile Arena where
No, they have their own little arena. They have a small arena that they play in. I say it's a vibe. Kevin Rives says the Kansas City A's were a farm team for the Yankees in the 60s and 70s. Finley was on the take. Is that true? That was alleged. Did Steinbrenner pay Finley? Like, was there a thing going on there?
I've heard that
conspiracy
theory, but I don't know that was ever an actual thing. But it certainly looked like it. I mean, I understand where it came from.
All right. Daniel says, I'm very busy. You have no idea, Daniel Bear. You have no idea what's going on. Yeah, they have the NBA team. No, you're not getting that. Scott Rassick said, I want to become an intern for you, JP. No, you don't, Scott. No, you don't. Ask these guys. Danny's like, no, you don't. Yeah. No, you don't. All they do is get abused. They yell at me all the time. No, it's great. They have a lot of fun. Kenneth McClure says that's incorrect. They will not be the Las Vegas Aces since that's a WNBA team. Yeah. See,
they're not going to change the name. They're still going to be the Athletics.
Yeah. And I hope that I still don't know if they're going to get the damn stadium built. I still don't know.
That they've allegedly already broken ground on?
Renting bulldozers to be in the PR photo. I mean, if you have to rent the bulldozers, does that mean you got the deal done? I don't know. I do not know. By the way, just in case, I know there's been some misinformation out there recently on other podcasts. The update on the Rays sale is this. Sooner, just exactly what I said last week, sooner probably than later. I can't give you a date just because of who we're dealing with and what we're dealing with. But the new group is definitely focused on Tampa. If you hear other things, like they haven't said where they're going, yeah, they've told me and they've told Major League Baseball and they've told many people, including the mayor of Tampa, that they are focused on Tampa. Zalewski's group is focused on Tampa. They're not looking at the St. Pete deal. Major League Baseball does not want the stadium in St. Pete. I'm not sure how many gazillion times we have to say that, but evidently the paper of record does not understand or listen to what the commissioner says. And I know that not everything that comes out of his mouth is gospel, but no, they are focused on Tampa. And I think that's the reason that they are and have been the leader in the clubhouse for quite some time, because Major League Baseball does not want the stadium in St. Pete for obvious reasons. So, yeah, the other groups, including the Malloy group and the Miller group, or whatever you want to call them, the other groups, yes, they have entertained the St. Pete idea because they wanted to get part of that real estate development money. But Major League Baseball would like a group that can publicly or privately finance most of the stadium and do it in Tampa. That's their preference. So I think that is the reason why some of these other groups have not been the favored ones, because they are very well capitalized. They've got local people in them as well. They're good groups. They're good groups, no question about it. But I think their focus on St. Pete has probably cost them a little bit with Major League Baseball. They may be trying to pivot back to Tampa and get back in the game. We shall see. But I think this Zalewski group has been the leader in the clubhouse. That's the one we reported on way back in February when we broke that story. They're the ones with the letter of intent. I still think it has a time on it, and it might, they can easily extend it. But again, this is the favored group of Major League Baseball, unless something has happened, and things will happen, and sales are very complex things. And especially when you're dealing with Stu Sternberg, they can be really complex things. So, but I still believe that's the group that's going to get the team. They're going to build a stadium in Tampa. When that is announced, I do not know, but I do think it's going to be sooner than later. So just an update there as well. All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking some Lightning hockey with the great Erik Erlendsson. We might sneak a little soccer in there because I love my USA soccer. That's it.
How do you know who wins the soccer game anyway? The scores are always tied.
It's a score.
Do you just flip a coin to win?
You're so uncultured. It's embarrassing at times.
I just don't get it.
But we love you. We love you just the same. We're brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. They are local, they are trusted, and they definitely get results. This is the Jeeves Law Group studio, and we love it very much. And if you are involved in an accident, you got some issues at work, any legal questions whatsoever, JeevesLawGroup.com. They'll give you a free case evaluation, like JeevesLawGroup.com. And OnSiteConstructionFL.com. There's the website. On-Site Construction, that is the contractor that you want to work with if you have hurricane damage, if you want to add on to your home, if you want to build from scratch. They will do it all. They are the best. Over 1,400 jobs done in the local area, 20 years of experience. Check out all the 5-star reviews. They are the best in the business. OnSiteConstructionFL.com. Get a free consultation with them. They'll come out to your house. Jason Fawcett, the owner, will come out to your house, check it out, give you some ideas of what you could do, and you'll develop a relationship with your contractor. So when the hurricane hits, you already know who you're going to, and you're on the preferred list. OnSiteConstructionFL.com. Back in 3.
Although it may seem tempting to go without health care insurance, the financial risk far outweighs the gain you may experience. For example, did you know if you simply broke your leg, it could cost you nearly $7,500? Put on top of that a hospital stay, you could be looking at $10,000 to $15,000. Ensuring that you don't go uncovered is so important, as according to CNBC, high medical bills are the highest contributing factor to why Americans end up taking money out of their retirement savings, or worse, find themselves filing bankruptcy. So go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. Now, depending on your income, you can get plans for zero premium. Our experts will guide you through the process effortlessly. They will shop many plans and find the one that's right for you. I called and I have full health coverage through Florida Blue for zero monthly premium. It's a free call. So why go uncovered? It's a huge risk. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays! JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park, so free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. And we're having fun this. I told you it was going to be a snarky, fun morning. Hope we're not disappointing you guys.
A lot of shenanigans going on today.
Shenanigans are good. You don't get shenanigans everywhere.
No, we got inside the park home runs. We got balls bouncing off Jose Canseco's head.
Yeah,
we got interns.
Oh, and I can't wait till this segment's done and I can get after B for his stupid comments. Coming at you, boy. B.
Coming for you.
Oh, I'm coming for you. Cannot wait. We're brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance, 813-877-7799. They do all the work. You save all the money. It's a pretty simple thing. You just call them up, say, hey, here's my homeowner's insurance. Here's what I'm paying. This is what I got. They'll make sure you're fully insured. They'll make sure you got flood insurance. They'll make sure that the company you're with will pay when you make a claim. That's kind of important. All those things, they'll take care of that for you. ItalianoInsurance.com, doing business here for over 60 years. Another great, long, tenured local business that we love to support, and they support us, and we thank them so much. ItalianoInsurance.com. Please give them a call. You got to get insurance anyway, so you might as well support the people that support your favorite sports show. All right, let's welcome in the man, the myth, Erik Erlendsson, Double E's, lightninginsider.com is the website. Well, I just got my renewal notice. I got to renew, which I will do here this week. What's up, Double E's? How are you?
I'm good, JP. What's going on? Causing shenanigans over here?
We got shenanigans going on all day long. And I'm going to make all the Lightning fans are waiting for us to talk Lightning breathlessly. But, I know you're a soccer fan. And we're in the middle of the summer soccer, which is kind of cool. We're less than a year away from the freaking World Cup coming to the USA, which is interesting. Yep. And the United States team it was in turmoil, but I think this Gold Cup performance has kind of righted the ship. If I'm okay with that, maybe not. I'll get your take on it. They win last night over Guatemala to get into the Gold Cup final, and that's going to be against Mexico on Sunday. That's going to be fun to watch. Your thoughts on where this team is with the new coach?
Well, it's a little hard to judge in some ways because you don't have Pulisic, you don't have Weston McKennie, you don't have Sergino Dents. Like, you don't have some of the top names. Tim Weah's not in this camp and this group. I mean, it's great. I mean, look, they were a shootout loss away to Costa Rica from not even getting out of the quarterfinals. I mean, it's just crazy how these single elimination tournaments work. And that was a game they had a 2-1 lead late, and they blew it before it got to PKs. So I don't know if I'm ready to say the ship is righted, but given where things were heading leading up to the Gold Cup, there was definitely some trepidation kind of going on a little bit with Pochettino and wondering if he was going to be able to bring his success to a national program. But again, I think it's hard to judge on this team. I think we've seen some eye-opening performances, specifically last night, Diego Luna with a couple of goals in the first 15 minutes of the match.
And what a goal. What a goal. I haven't seen an American player, that second goal, I haven't seen an American player. The first one was magnificent finish too. But that second one, I haven't seen an American player do that in I don't know how long.
Yeah, so I think in a lot of ways that the way that they have utilized this tournament in a look ahead to next summer when the chips are all in, like, we're all waiting for that signature win in U.S. soccer, and certainly we had one a number of years ago when they beat Spain, when Spain was at the top of their cycle and all the championships that they had. In 2010 we got close, right? We got to the round of 16, we got to the quarterfinals. We're a header away from beating Germany and getting to the semifinals. What a moment that could have been. So we're waiting for that sort of signature moment for U.S. soccer. So now you've got the Pulisics and the Weahs and the McKennies next summer, provided all are healthy, knock on wood. And now you're getting to see some of these younger players. Who was it? Jack McGlynn. Wow, what a player! He's 19 years old.
Yeah.
Boy, he's had a couple of really good, impressive goals here during this summer camp for U.S. soccer. So you're seeing some of these younger players that maybe we weren't aware of. And, and a lot of them play in MLS, which I looked at this roster when it came out and said, oh, all these MLS players, really? But they've really kind of stepped forward here a little bit. And, and look, I know it's CONCACAF. It's not Europe. It's not CONMEBOL. It's not the top federation by any stretch of the imagination. So the competition is not top tier. There'll be a challenge on Sunday against Mexico for sure. But I've been impressed with some of these younger players stepping up when they're being asked to step up. And sometimes that's what you have to look for.
Why are not Pulisic and Weahs playing in this Gold Cup that's so close to the World Cup? I thought we'd be putting the team together that's going to go forward into the World Cup. I'm a little ignorant as to why they're not playing. I know they have some other obligations, but with the World Cup coming up, wouldn't this be obligation number one? Why? I'm confused.
You would think, especially to get some cohesion under a new coach.
Yes.
Right? And there'll be a couple of camps between now and then. And, they don't have to qualify. They're in as host nation as an automatic qualifier, but they'll still go through the qualification rounds for CONCACAF. Juventus, which is where McKennie plays for, was in the FIFA Club World Cup. So he was with this club team. Pulisic, I think just he needed a break, right? He's had a terrific year in Italy, and in the Champions League. He's had some great moments. I think he was just looking for some rest because next summer is a target. We know how good Christian Pulisic is, and he's certainly taken a step forward since leaving the Premier League and going to Spain and playing or Italy, sorry, and playing for Roma. So I think it was just some of that aspect of it that they want those guys rested. They don't want to wear them down because we know how important next summer is.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm with you. You want cohesion from your top players playing under a brand new coach, but that was the direction they go in, and Pochettino was okay with it.
All right, we'll move on and talk a little Lightning because this is, I think you and I may have said this. I know Ben Blum and I said it on the post-game show after the Lightning were eliminated by the Panthers. It's like, this is a really good team. The Panthers they're going to go on to win the Stanley Cup. I think we all said that after they beat up on the Lightning. But we also said, well, at least they won't be able to bring everybody back. They won't be able to bring Sam Bennett back, and they're going to get hit hard in free agency.
Wow.
Well, I was wrong. They brought the whole damn group back, and they're signed till 2030. And I'm like, holy shizbang. How the hell did Zito do this? And, I mean, he got a lot of guys to take less money. Same thing the Lightning have been able to do over this run that they've been on. So, first and foremost, were you surprised that Zito was able to bring the whole group back?
Absolutely. I didn't think there was any way they'd be able to bring back all these guys. Now, a lot of people, and I've had people show up on my mentions, oh, well, Zito is now easily the best GM. He's bypassed Julian Breezeball and all this, and I get it. But let's also understand, Bill Zito has something that Julian Breezeball was not able to work with. Julian Breezeball had a flat cap.
Yep.
Bill Zito has an increasing cap. So he's able to maybe work something to where the Lightning couldn't keep an Andre Palat or an Alex Killorn or Steven Stamkos. These players, the cap stayed flat for 3 years, almost 4 years.
Right.
And, for Julian and the staff to kind of keep the team together as well as they could have under those circumstances, whereas Zito is able to bring these guys back. Are they player or are they team-friendly deals? Absolutely. And, they've certainly established something down there. The culture that we all talk about in pro sports and locker rooms is certainly there with the Panthers. So they want to continue to be a part of it. But the cap is increasing, and it's increasing by a significant number over the next 3 years. So Florida has cap room to work with to re-sign these guys, whereas Tampa Bay did not. So I think that's one advantage that they've had. But, especially after they signed Bennett, you thought, okay, well, that's Marchand's not coming back, and there's no way they re-sign Ekblad. And then Ekblad re-signs, and then Marchand re-signs. Now, nobody expects Marchand to play 6 more years until he's 43, but that's how you get these things done in these situations and spread the cap out over a number of years. So, very surprised that Florida was able to keep it together. But as we've seen with the Lightning, it's a long climb back up a mountain. It's a long climb back up after you've been there 3 straight years. Can they continue to perform at that level? And we'll see. The Atlantic Division is deeper. It's tougher. You look at some of the improvements the Canadians have made after making the playoffs last year. And, we're all waiting for Buffalo to kind of take a step forward. Ottawa made the playoffs last year. The division's deeper. It's going to be tougher to get into. But I still see Tampa Bay and Florida as the 2 premier teams in this league. And we'll see what happens with Toronto.
All right, to that end, JBB came out and said, don't expect anything big this offseason. And I was like, okay. Maybe a little subterfuge there, although we haven't seen anything yet. Do you expect something big? I mean, obviously there's not a whole lot of cap room to work with, but obviously he can trade contracts and do something big as he did last year, which was monumental, what happened last year. And also took the Lightning from a very poor 5-on-5 team to one of the best 5-on-5 teams in the league in one season. What he did last offseason was phenomenal. There's no question about it. Now, you can argue the first round exit, but I'll argue that's the best team in the league by far that they lost to. So is there still time? and I'll say to this, I'll ask the McDavid question after this. So is there? So the floor is yours. Is there time to do something big? Throw the McDavid thing in there. Is that even a possibility? I haven't really. I hear things that Spit and Chickless is talking about it. They usually know what's going on, but there's been a lot of smoke. I don't see it. I don't get it. So go ahead.
Well, it's hard for me to envision McDavid coming to Tampa. I mean, he's up for contract, right? He's going into a contract year, and he's already got the highest cap hit in the league.
Right.
Right. So it's not going down. Cap's going up. McDavid's cap hit is not going down.
No.
So it's hard for me to envision that without gutting a couple of players off your roster, which you would have to do anyway to try and make something like this work. I don't ever rule anything out, right? And Julian, we've learned every time Julian says don't expect anything, I don't believe him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's at face value, but things always happen, and something might come up. The McDonough trade last summer, nobody saw that coming, right? We're not making it. We're done,
Right.
and everything. So I don't. When Julian says he's done, I don't necessarily believe him. I think
agree.
he's being honest, but I don't necessarily believe he something's not potentially cooking. So in that aspect, do I expect something this summer? I mean, look, they've been kind of still in the conversation for Nikolai Ehlers, who arguably is the top free agent guy in the market, especially after Mitch Marner was traded to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Can that work? I mean, you look at the cap room that the Lightning have currently. Ehlers is getting more than what they have in available cap space right now. Does that mean they can work things out? And, you could be 10% over the cap during the summer. You just have to be compliant by the time the season comes around. So is that a possibility? I guess it is. But you look at this roster right now, and, as of right now, if the Lightning went into training camp with this roster, Julian's going to have something he hasn't had in a number of years, and that's a pretty significant amount of cap space. 4.2, I think they're under the cap right now. For the Lightning, that's a lot of cap space.
Yeah, we usually have like $12.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that accumulates over the course of a season. So as you get close to a trade deadline, well, now you're talking about a potential significant player.
Right.
Depending on what kind of capital you want to, send the other way. But that's something that they haven't had in a long time, is this amount of cap space. And the other thing we don't talk about much in terms of, the loss to Florida in the first round. We didn't get to see Oliver Bjorkstrand in the playoffs.
Right.
He's a clutch goal scorer in big moments, and we didn't get to see that. We talked about how that would have addressed the depth scoring and given them another threat, specifically on the third line, and he wasn't able to play. We're going to get a full year, if he's healthy, assuming he's healthy, of Bjorkstrand to see where he fits in. Connor Geeky's another year older. There's a lot of belief in Jack Finley at 6'6". This forward group still doesn't have a lot of size. Jack Finley would certainly bring that Brian Boyle type of size to the lineup and as a potential fourth line center. So I think if they went into camp with this team, I think they'd be comfortable with that. Could you use more depth on defense? Sure. I mean, all you've done on defense right now is swapped out Nick Perbix for Max Crozier.
Yeah. Which is fine. What's that?
I think I like Crozier. I think he's a good fit. He's a good partner with Emil Lilleberg. So I like their top four. I'm concerned about their bottom pairing. But if it's Crozier and Lilleberg and they find that chemistry that they've had in the past, you might be a little bit more okay with that. So I think there's a lot of stuff that they want to see maybe percolate a little bit rather than going out and trying to make a big splash. But Julian always has something up his sleeve.
I agree. And, you look at who they added, Pontus Holmberg, and was it Pelletier? Do you count Jacob Pelletier? Yeah.
Yep.
Neither one of these guys are bringing a whole lot of size and grit, toughness, which I believe it's missing a little bit here in this team. I think the fans are definitely calling for it, but what do they know? But is that something? I know this has been asked and answered, but I don't know. I think when I see some of these fourth line, third line pieces added, first question I'm asking, how big is he? What does he do? And those aren't those guys, are they? I mean, are those guys that are going to add? They're not.
No. But I will remind Lightning fans who are looking for this, you had that guy 2 years ago and you ran him out of
I
town.
know.
Right. And he just signed a pretty big contract with the Boston Bruins and Tanner.
I know.
Right. Like nobody wanted to fight Tanner Jeannot because nobody wants to fight Tanner Jeannot.
Right.
Right. And he is a physical guy. Now, did he fit in the system? Didn't feel like it.
No.
He looked a little lost in the system at times. He didn't exactly go to LA and light things up. Right. And I was surprised at the 5-year deal he got from the Bruins, but he does have that element that teams are looking for, which is size and physicality and, a quote unquote enforcer. I still think, like, if you had a guy like that in the playoffs against Florida, would it have mattered?
I don't know. Maybe there would have been a response to the Hagel hit. A better response. Any response.
Potentially, but that hit. So you're okay. Game 3. Maybe
that hit doesn't. Maybe. And listen, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate with you here because I kind of agree to a point, but I also say, does that hit even happen if Tanner Jeannot is playing for the Lightning?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point, right?
Florida was not going to be deterred. Florida played against everybody the same way.
True. You know what? That's a great point.
And that's part of Florida's makeup. They want to pull you out of your game and make you think more about that stuff than actually playing hockey, because look what happened to Edmonton.
Yep.
They tried it and they willfully went after guys and it didn't change anything. So I think if you have a guy
they just got scored on in power play.
Yeah. Regular season is different, right? Like that stuff, it factors in during the regular season. In the playoffs, not so much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a Jeannot out there, is he going to go pummel Matthew Tkachuk for his hit on Jay Gensel? I don't know if he'd get that chance, but I don't know if he'd get that chance, right? Like I just think it's an overvalued element in today's game. It's almost a luxury. If you have it, it's a luxury. And like Sam Bennett's not a big guy, right? Like he's not, but he's an agitator.
Yeah.
Aaron Ekblad is an agitator. Like they don't have quote unquote enforcers.
Yeah.
They just have some guys who are 6'2" who agitate the crap out of you.
I think actually, I don't know if you wrote this or somebody wrote this. When you compare the size of the Lightning and the Panthers, they're almost exactly identical.
Yeah.
Just
now
in terms
the
of
difference
weight.
is,
Yeah.
The difference is most of that for Tampa Bay is on their back end.
Right.
Chernak, McDonough, Hedman, Lilleberg, all big. Right up front, and they don't have any big forwards. And I'm sorry, Brandon Hagel is not 6'2". I don't know in what universe Brandon Hagel
is he listed as 6'2".
He is listed as 6'2". I don't know. He must have been on his skates or something. But they don't have that, right? And that's where Jack Finley comes into it. And I know
Connor Geeky. I want to see Connor Geeky put on his man weight because he's got an edge to him. But when he gets his man weight on him, he's just 20 years old, maybe 21 now, but I think he could play at 230, 235 and still skate like he does. He's just, he's got a big frame.
Yep. And that's how he made the team out of camp, was some of the elements of his game. So he had it. And the Pelletier signing, so like everybody's going to look at, he's not a big guy, and I get it. It's a low risk, high reward. He's a former first-round draft pick. He's got a lot of skill. He's got good hockey IQ, which is something this team is always looking for. He's a reclamation project. If it doesn't work out, you send him to the minors. He's not making a ton of money. Yeah. But there's a potential for a high reward with him in terms of the skill set. Again, there's not a lot of size among their forward group, and I thought maybe they would try and address that. I also thought that maybe they'd try and address faceoffs because Luke Glendening is gone. He was 57. Everybody else was between 49 and 51 on this team. So I just think that the enforcer role is overvalued by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And the Lightning don't have a lot of value in it because if you're gonna find that guy, he has to play.
Right.
And let's be honest, there's not a lot of those type of guys who can play.
Yeah.
There's some. No. There's some, but there's not a lot who can do both.
Yeah. I agree. I agree, and that's very well said. The Isaac Howard situation, and we've talked about this before, but Julian came out and basically laid it out. It's like the teams I want to trade him to don't want to give me what I want. And the teams that he wants to go to or teams that he wants to go to won't give me what I want. And they know that, right? It's like the teams that he knows, they know, hey, he wants to come here. We don't have to give up a whole lot. And the ones that really want him, he doesn't want to go to. So it's a bit of a stalemate. But I still think the Lightning have most of the leverage. I still think Isaac Howard doesn't want to go back to play. And even though they can make money in college now, he's going to lose it on the back end in his contract in the Lightning. You want to get your pro career going quickly because you get to free agency quicker. That's where the big money is. So I still think the Lightning have a little bit of leverage here, but I think we're just going to have to wait till the deadline comes, which is basically right before training camp, right?
A little bit before that because of, but even if he goes back to school, even if he heads back to campus, he can change his mind, right? Okay, I'm going to go sign pro. Like it's like any other college player who just decides I'm going to leave school, I'm going to turn pro. They're not bound to any sort of a contract to go back to school. Now, I will say the one outside X factor in Howard potentially going back to Michigan State, there's been some talk of Gavin McKenna, who's draft eligible this year. He's going to be the first overall draft pick. He had like a 55-game point streak in the Western League this year. He's a fantastic player. There's word he might go to Michigan State because now that the NCAA has changed some of their rules, you can have these junior players in Canada who can now transfer into schools rather than losing their amateur eligibility under the old way.
Right. Yeah.
So these top players now have choices outside of junior. And I think you're seeing that the way that college players develop nowadays and how they're more NHL ready than certainly they were 5, 10, 15 years ago. It's because they only play 30 some odd games, but that gives you more time to work out and work.
Yeah.
Right? It gives you more time to add that element to your game while still getting some pretty good competition, especially in the Big Ten. And so if he goes to Michigan State, maybe that changes Howard's mind and he can play with a player like that and maybe win a national championship. But I still think he wants to go pro.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been shy about that. So I still believe – look, we saw last year the Cutter Gauthier for Jamie Drysdale trade happened in September. Right? Like it happened before the start of the season. So that potential's there, and you're right, it's a stalemate. It's almost a game of chicken in some ways.
Yeah.
But the Lightning hold the leverage because if Isaac Howard can only sign with one team right now.
Right.
Unless it's traded, then it's different. So they hold some leverage over him as well. He has some, but so the Lightning have more leverage now. The longer this goes on, the less leverage the Lightning have. But that also means Isaac Howard loses one more additional year on his pro status.
And it's weird we don't even talk about this, but he's not signing with the Lightning. Could he ever play for the Lightning?
You never rule anything out, but certainly everything points to that the two sides are too far apart that they're not going to find a way to come together. But like with anything else in these situations, just takes one phone call and one change of heart.
Yeah. Do you think he would fit in well? Where would he fit in if he played here?
He's a top 6 guy. I don't know about right away,
right?
But he's a top 6 player. I mean, his skill sets, his ability to score goals. You watch some of those games, in the Big Ten tournament and the clutch goals. I mean, he carried that Michigan State team to a Big Ten title.
Yeah.
He had points. He pointed on every goal in their overtime victory, the double overtime victory. I think was against Ohio State. He's a beast. And
where did it go wrong? Like how do you not want to play for the Tampa Bay Lightning?
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Well, the relationship was always good. I would say that because all the conversations I had with people internally, they would always tell me he's listening to what we're asking him to do. We've asked him to put on weight. He's done that. We want him to work on his 200-foot game. He's done. He did everything. He followed the quote unquote Lightning way. I just think it broke down after Michigan State season ended, and he wanted to jump straight to the NHL. First of all, the Lightning didn't have the cap space to make that happen.
Was that the biggest problem?
Yeah.
If they had cap space, he probably comes up.
Well, and the other part of it is, too, the irony is if Michigan State had made the Frozen Four like we all expected them to, then it's a 2-week delay before you can even have these talks. And by then, you would have had the cap space. So if Michigan State had been able to find a way to get to the Frozen Four and not get knocked out by Cornell, then that's a different story. Potentially a different story. But these players that are coming up, and the Lightning never had this type of a college player in their system. They never had a Hobie Baker winner, let alone a Hobie Baker potential guy. So he ends up going on to win the Hobie Baker Leagues, and so they never had this type of a high-profile college player to kind of negotiate with. And these guys typically make the jump to the NHL. Ryan Howard, in Washington, did that. Right, he went straight out of college, straight to the Capitals, even though they were a playoff team. So it's not unusual to see that, and I think that's what he wanted. The Lightning just were not able to give it to him. Go down to Syracuse, play for a couple of weeks, and we'll see where it goes from there. I just get the sense he didn't want to do that.
Okay. All right, partner. Anything else we need to know? And the draft picks are, they're years away. So
yeah.
No, nobody's helping anytime soon, right? We don't need to talk about them just yet. All right, partner. Tell everybody how they can get your great content at lightninginsider.com.
Yeah, well, you see the website there on the Chiron down below, and two opportunities. There's a $40 a year plan, and there's a $4.99 plan. Those prices haven't changed, and we're going on almost 9 years now.
Raise your prices, inflation, Eric. Come on now.
Yeah, I haven't done it. I'm always hesitant to do it, but those prices haven't changed. So it's $40 a year, $4.99 a month. Just go to lightninginsider.com, and that's how you can sign up.
All right. Thank you, Double E's. Great stuff as always, my friend.
All right. Thanks, JP. Be well.
All right. We'll see you soon. Great. Erik Erlendsson right there. All right. We'll take a break. We'll come back on the other side, get to some of these comments. B, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, partner. We are brought to you by the great folks at Onsite Construction and Restoration. OnsiteConstructionFL.com is their website. Go check it out. See some of the great work that they have done. You'll be inspired to say, you know what? I want to do that to my house. By the way, adding on to homes is a very, very tough process. Working with existing structures takes folks who know what they're doing and have done it before. And this is one thing that Onsite Construction is really, really good at. They're one of the experts in this field. So if you're looking to add on to your home, just don't go with any contractor. Go with the folks that know what they're doing, have great reputation. Go look at the 5-star reviews on the website, OnsiteConstructionFL.com. Jason Fawcett is the owner. He'll come out and take a look at it. They'll give you a free consultation. OnsiteConstructionFL.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. Hey, JP here for my concierge medical professional, Chris Lugo, PA. You've heard him on the show for a couple of years where he shares invaluable medical, nutritional, and supplement advice. With Chris, it's like having a medical provider as your best friend. What I love about this concierge service is the convenience and support he offers. I can text or call him 24/7 with any questions or concerns, and he'll promptly call in a prescription if needed. No office visits or copays required. It gives me peace of mind knowing I have someone genuinely invested in my health, not just focused on insurance profits. And the best part, the Bay Area Modern Medical Center's personal concierge service is more affordable than you might think. Don't let insurance companies dictate your health care. Take control of your health and wellness today. Visit BAMMC.com for more information and to schedule your initial free consultation. Empower yourself and take charge of your personal health with BAMMC.com. Celebrate summer with the largest jewelry collection at the Gold and Diamond Source. Yes, summer is here, and it's the perfect time to shine with the exquisite June birthstones, pearl, alexandrite, and moonstone. Each gemstone carries its own unique significance and style, making them the perfect thing for any summer occasion. Celebrate the milestone of a 30th anniversary with the timeless beauty of pearl, the traditional stone for this very special occasion. Right now, enjoy 5 years of interest-free financing. You can own a stunning $5,000 ring and pay only $83 a month with zero interest over 5 years. Shop online and get 15% off the June birthstones that include pearl, alexandrite, and moonstone. The perfect opportunity to add a touch of summer sparkle to your collection. As always, make the summer unforgettable and visit the Gold and Diamond Source today, the only place to get that unforgettable engagement ring. Great folks over there. Tell them JP sent you. 3800 Omerton Road, always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man, Scott Jeeves. If you're going to hire an attorney, do you want some guy looking for a quick settlement and a quick buck, or do you want an attorney with some chops?
Scott is a board-certified civil trial lawyer and a certified circuit court mediator. Been practicing in the Tampa Bay area for over 30 years. He is a peer-reviewed AV preeminent rated civil trial lawyer. They just don't hand out those classifications. He's been the lead class action counsel on many complex consumer protection cases and has handled hundreds of serious personal injury cases. He's dedicated his career to protecting injured victims and is committed to vigorously representing you. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. Personal injury and personal attention. Call for a free case evaluation. That's 888-9-JEEVES. That's 888-9-JEEVES. The Jeeves Law Group. Summer is coming. Do not get caught with your unit unprepared. Your AC unit, of course. The awesome folks at Third Generation Plumbing and AC have a special going on right now. You get a free 1-year maintenance package with any purchase of a new unit. They have special 60-month financing as well, so you don't need a huge chunk up front. Third Generation has an impeccable reputation built over 30 years of doing business. They do plumbing, AC, mechanical work, anything you need around the house. They are trusted folks. Go to the website and read the 5-star reviews. Deidre said, great company that always arrives timely. We have used them for our AC both in home and business and have been very happy. The staff is knowledgeable and professional. I would recommend Third Generation again and again. So give Third Generation a call at 813-961-8024 or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show as we roll on this Thursday. TJ Rives going to join us at 11:15. We are brought to you by the great folks at the Gold and Diamond Source. If you're looking for that engagement ring, where else are you going to go, right? Talk about great local companies. The Gold and Diamond Source been in business for over 40 years. Julie and Steve Weintraub, great philanthropists in the area. We love them. All the great work they do in the community. Her hands across the bay. Julie's charity is absolutely fantastic. They help so many young ladies get back on their feet after abusive relationships. They've done a great job with that. So, but that's not the reason you need to go shop there. It's part of the reason. The reason is they got the best prices. They got the best selection, great staff, never going to try to hype you up and spend more than you want to spend. 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account. Your diamond never loses its value. It's the Gold and Diamond Source, 3800 Homerton Road. Always online at goldendiamond.com. All right. We got some business to take care of.
Uh-oh. Who did it?
It's B.
Oh, it's always B.
Yeah, it's always B. So he says, why would we believe you over John Romano? The comments you just made on stadium are total speculation. Fairgrounds now out. Dog track would be a disaster. Nobody is going to that area. Okay. First and foremost, when you say just speculation, are you saying I haven't talked to all the groups involved in this sale? Because you'd be wrong. You'd be 1,000% wrong. I've spoken with all the groups involved. Yes, and I was the one. And listen, I'm not here to pump me up, but you coming at me, B, I'll just bring the facts. Okay? Here's the facts. In February, we reported about this group, Tampa Bay elite investors, and when they want to be known, they will be known. I've been told not to say their names. And you notice their names were not outed with the first group, Patrick Zalewski. So you'll find out about him soon enough. But this is the group I've been talking about. I told you they started a serious negotiations. Major League Baseball is backing this group. They want a stadium in Tampa. Romano says St. Pete is still in play. He's wrong, as he's been wrong on I have a list here. When the Tampa Bay deal went down in 2018 and he parroted Stu Sternberg's comments that there was no corporate support, 1,000% wrong, inaccurate reporting. I was part of the Raise 100. We raised over $160 million in pledges. That's significant support. So he was wrong about that. He constantly parrots Stu Sternberg's, I don't have any money because of attendance nonsense. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Go look at the revenues. Over $300 million every year with a $70 million payroll. He can more than afford to pay in much more in payroll. So he's wrong about that. The 2-stadium deal with Montreal, he fully supported, talked about how great it's going to be. I told you right off the bat, the Major League Baseball Players Association will never, and I mean never, let that happen. Orestes Estrada was in here the other day, said the same thing. Everybody said the same thing. But, of course, he was doing the work of the team. He was wrong on that. The St. Pete deal, when it was signed, and he championed that and said, oh, everything's going to be honky-dory. This is the greatest deal ever, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't the greatest deal for St. Pete. The people who actually looked into the numbers showed you that, and we showed it to you on this particular program, how bad it was for St. Pete and Pinellas County. Chris Lotfula and everybody in public government now has said the same thing. And also, we've also told you all the time, can't trust Stu Sternberg. And now that's parroted by everybody in local government, not by John Romano. So wrong on all these things. Why believe Romano over me? Why believe me over Romano? Or can we? And by the way, nothing personal against John. We're just going down the list here. And I told you the St. Pete deal would never go through. Did he say that? No, he didn't say that. He was wrong on that. God, we could just go on and on. He's still talking about St. Petersburg being an option. It's not. It's not an option. Major League Baseball wants the team in Tampa. That's why this group has been, and we'll see when it all works out, and you can tell me how wrong I am. So, yeah, 30 years covering local sports. I've got plenty of awards. Oh, and the other thing you say is he's fine making $500,000. And you also said T-Kraz makes $600,000, B. You are so wrong on every part of this, almost as wrong as John is on all those issues. I don't know where to start. So why should we believe you? Why should we believe anything you put up in this comments? Exactly. I had a couple I didn't get to, but that's all right. Yeah, I think we. Any other questions?
OB.
Anything else you got?
B made me go solo shot on JP for his rant. That's how serious this was.
Yeah. And again, I'm nothing against John. It just is. These are all facts. These are things that he's written about and reported. We've said otherwise, and I think in general we've pretty much been right, and he's been wrong. And I think there's a very large segment of Rays fans that feel that way. So there you go. Christopher Cole says Florida plays on the edge of illegal, but the league just turns a blind eye, just like Biden's open borders. I love the connection there, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. Daniel says, thank you, JP, for being the most trusted voice in Tampa Bay sports. Thank you, Daniel Rivera. Appreciate that. Mike says, maybe B is Ramon. You know, I never thought about that.
Oh.
He does have a cat avatar.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, think that through. Rick, B is S? Is Stu? I thought that, but no, I don't think so. But he's definitely connected in some way. Yes, I'm on a roll. Don't get me going, Nathan. Don't get me going. I don't know who he is, but he's got, you know, and then it's just, that's the other thing. Thank you, Christopher Cole, for putting your picture on your avatar. Michael LaRue, thank you for putting your picture. Daniel Rivera, Mike H., we'd like to see a picture of you. But at least you people are not hiding behind some letter and some non-picture avatar. It's like I typically don't deal with people like that because you're such cowards you can't even put your name on it. I mean, if you want to be taken seriously, put your name on it and your face on it. Otherwise, you're just noise. But thank you for the content today. I appreciate that. You got me a little pissed off. Yeah. But that's that. All right. Let's take another quick break here. And TJ Rives is coming up on the other side. We're going to do our top 50 Buccaneers. Actually, we're only going to do top 10. Our top 10 Buccaneers of all time. The 50th anniversary list is coming out. There's a media list. There's a fans list. There's an alumni list. I'm looking forward to all of them.
And I'm going to throw some water balloons at your top 10 list, by the way. I can already tell you.
You always do. You always do. And we love that. So guys, get out your top 10 list. The interns have their top 10 lists. We'll throw that out there as well. Top 10 Buccaneers of all time. Of all time. I got a couple of surprises for you. So we'll do that when we come back. Stay with us.
JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. It's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced, generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Going through a medical emergency without health care insurance can cause you to go into crippling debt. In most scenarios, people are forced to either break into their retirement funds or worse, they're forced to file for bankruptcy. The sad truth is that health care insurance is crucial in today's day and age. Look, I get it. Many of you think you're never going to get sick and health insurance is really expensive. Well, we can help you out with that. Depending on your income, we can find great plans and huge discounts. God forbid you get cancer, a car accident. It could literally ruin you financially for life. So make the call and find out. Even though the open enrollment period is over, you may have some qualifying life events that can help you get covered right away. It can be very complicated, a very intimidating process, but we can help. Go to our website and check out all the 5-star reviews about our helpful agents. Go to don'tgouncovered.com or call 800-669-1505. That's 800-669-1505. Spring means a time of renewal and Rays baseball, and the folks at Italiano Insurance want to welcome the Rays to Tampa and remind you it's time to renew those insurance policies with the now famous Italiano Insurance Checkup. Let the experienced and friendly agents shop your policy for the best price and coverage. Famous for saving me over $1,000 on our auto insurance last year and over $500 on our homeowners. Now that's a grand slam. Might as well get a double play by adding flood insurance and business insurance to your portfolio. Costs less than you think, and trust me, you do not want to risk your home or personal wealth. That's a big whiff. So step up to the plate and call 813-877-7799 and chat with the all-star agents at Italiano Insurance. 813-877-7799 or go to ItalianoInsurance.com. Go Rays! JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show. We're brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing and AC. They do AC, anything mechanical in your house. Third Generation Plumbing, they are the folks to call. You know when something goes wrong, you're like, oh, who am I going to call? ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. Real easy. John Rodriguez is the owner there. 3 generations they've been doing this thing. They do plumbing, they do AC, anything mechanical in your home, they can get it done. And they'll get it done fast, and they'll do it in budget as well. What they say they're going to charge you is what they're going to charge you. None of the shenanigans going on, which you'll get a lot from AC and plumbing companies. You just will. You know, there's a lot of fly-by-night companies out there. They're on social media. You don't know these people. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com. We know them. They've been here forever. So use them. ThirdGenerationPlumbing.com is the website. Give them a call. They'll do your AC checkup as well. All right, let's bring in another dude that's been around here forever. It is the great. Oh, you got the black and gold on just like me today.
Wow.
Yeah, we're.
I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, Steinbrenner
Rocking
Warriors.
the Steinbrenner Warriors and the U.S. Open logo.
Look at that.
Golf hat that I'm sure.
Just by happenstance, or did you tune in and see me popping the yellow?
No, complete happenstance. I had not seen until a few moments ago with your going to break tees there, what you were in, what you were attired. Are you like in honor of the Tour de France, the yellow jersey?
Nothing.
You're the leader. You're out in front. Is there any significance on that?
It was raining this morning. I said, I haven't done long sleeves in a while. I got my yellow long sleeve. I'm going to go yellow.
I understand.
Yellow. That's it.
Listen, good to be with you on all fronts. Am I to understand? I think I heard this or saw this on social media from you, that you already went and saw the Brad Pitt F1 movie.
Yes, I did.
Without me.
And without me.
And without Tim.
I did. Yeah.
Without numerous others. I was offering up to you that a bunch of us are going tonight.
Yes.
On the Thursday before the July 4th holiday weekend here to go see this. So without the spoilers, is it worth our while?
Absolutely.
What is it on the
100%.
JP 1 to 5 scale? How many checkered flags do you give it?
I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it 4 checkered flags.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. 3.75, maybe 4. Listen, it had tremendous potential to be very cliche. Very Bruckheimer, Brad Pitt, had and it avoided that in almost every turn.
Okay.
There you go.
Pun intended.
Every twist and turn. The photography is fantastic. The racing scenes are insanely good.
Did you watch in IMAX with all of the sound and the vibrating seats and the whole bit?
Big boy stuff. Yes, we went IMAX.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. There's some contrived love story in there, but
of course
you got to have that, right?
It's a movie.
Joseph Kosinski was the director, the guy that directed Top Gun Maverick, so it was going to be good, right?
It's very Top Gun.
And Tim, you have not seen it as of yet. I know
not
you're
yet. I'm taking the boys this weekend to see it. Yeah.
So we will all compare notes at a later date. JP's ahead of the game on this and says it's worthwhile. I
just have a hard time understanding, and I'm sure they make it work. JP, you can confirm this. How a 61-year-old washed-up race car driver ends up getting a ride with an F1 team. This is just beyond my realm of comprehension now. Until I see the movie.
I can sum it up very succinctly for you because I do this with my 17-year-olds. It's a movie.
But
that's
still,
why.
It's got to be believable, right?
It's not a sports documentary. It's not what really happened. It's a movie.
All right.
I mean, we watch all of these action movies and all of these now superhero Marvel movies where all this crap is going on and
Those
it's
are
all futuristic. And it's a movie.
Those aren't documentaries?
Well,
they aren't
so
documentaries.
You said Kosinski did Maverick, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And what's the plot line in Maverick?
Is that a 60-something-year-old can return and fly the fighter jets.
Well, he never stopped flying fighter jets, though. He's always been a pilot his whole life, though. That's been
but
the
under
movie.
the premise, we
we
haven't seen the movie. JP's seen the movie, but under the premise, Brad Pitt's character has been an F1 driver in the past.
Right, before.
It's not unrealistic that he's coming back to drive it. That's the whole
They make it work. They really make it work.
Good.
It's like Damon Hill or Nigel Mansell coming out of retirement.
I bought in the whole thing.
All right.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I'm not trying to disparage it. I'm excited to see it. That's just in my head right now.
We will compare notes at a later date and do that. Shall we? What route do you want to travel first? Shall we compare notes on the Rays and
I want to know. I want to start with this because we haven't talked about this yet, at least unless y'all did it on Monday when I wasn't here, JP. I wanted to talk about real quick because I want both of y'all's opinions on this, and I had a photo here. I'm going to have to reload a photo. The throwbacks, right? We having throwbacks. Y'all hate the creamsicles. Well, at least JP. I don't know where TJ stands.
I love the creamsicles.
On the field.
Beautiful. I don't like to wear them for games because we.
So where do we stand on the white creamsicles? Because those are coming back.
Right.
So where do we stand on those? Are they still bad
interesting? It's interesting because I keep bringing this up when it's all getting kicked around. They're going to. I don't have this on any official authority. All right, so I'm not confirming this.
Sure.
But they're going to take a strong look at white on white with the white helmet.
Right.
And do you know why that is?
No.
Because in the inaugural season, 1976, the year of our Lord, the first year of Buccaneer football, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers played 14 regular season games, and in all 14 games, they wore white on white with a white helmet, even at home. Every game of that winless 1976 season was white on white. They did wear the orange. They had six preseason games in 1976. They did wear the orange jerseys for one of the 6 preseason games. Don't ask me which one. The other 5 preseason games was the white on white, but every game that year was white on white. So it will not surprise me that they bring the white on white with the white helmet back. Now, early 90s, we got the orange pants that you see in the upper left on the video here. And so I've been wondering if they would do the white with the orange pants at some point because they want to wear the literal cooler jersey in the September heat at Raymond, or even October heat at Raymond James Stadium. Would they go white on? In fact, I was at the original game when they brought the orange pants out for the first 2 games in the 92 season is when Sam Weich came out with the orange pants. He had convinced Culverhouse and company to go with the orange pants for a different look. And they won the first 2 games right away with the then Phoenix Cardinals, the Arizona Cardinals, and with Brett Favre playing in mop-up duty for the Green Bay Packers in 1992, the white on orange pants with Sam Weich. His first 2 games as the Buccaneer coach, they started 2-0 wearing what you're seeing in the upper left-hand corner, the white jersey with the orange pants. So
I think both looks are amazing. I love the white on white. I think a little bit more. It's just cleaner. But so
they're going to use the white on white. So is it planned to use the white on white for a road game?
I don't have it on any confirmation on when they're going to pull it
they
out.
haven't said which games yet.
But the Falcons game is going to be the home creamsicle game.
Those are the creamsicles,
Correct. They have announced that. But it would not surprise me if you see the all-white.
They'll be at home. They'll be home games.
Because, again, that's the tribute back to 1976 when they were white on white.
50th anniversaries. I think it's great. But
a lot of people have speculated, what's the Seahawks game, week 5, I think?
Yeah, because the Seahawks are doing throwbacks, too.
And the speculation would be that the Bucs might wear the all-white for the Seahawks game.
Their 50th anniversary, too.
We came in with them. That would be awesome.
If they do that. But I'm not reporting that. I don't know that they're going to do it. I don't know if they're going to do it for a home game or what they're going to do. I'm just saying it would not surprise me because year 1, it was white on white with the white helmet.
All right.
I love it. Love it.
So, JP, does the white have the same bad luck connotation as the orange?
I don't think so. Because they
didn't win any of the games that first year. Wearing that color
didn't
scheme.
matter. All right.
Well, I guess, Then
Look,
I'll say yes.
I've told you this before. Doug Williams said to me, I got to interview Doug Williams and Jimmy Giles together on a Buccaneer program. And Doug said to me, and Jimmy started laughing and joined right in. He goes, we had no problems winning in the orange in 78, 79, 80, and 81. Right. He's like, we won a bunch of games wearing the orange. So it isn't just the color. And after Doug left, whatever, voodoo curse went on to the team.
So you're saying it's more having a good quarterback means more than the color of the jersey.
And or an all-world defense as well, which they had both. So Yeah, but Doug
and this is why I don't talk about uniforms.
Yeah.
Tim will bring it up and people will talk about it and they constantly obsess about it. I don't freaking care.
But you got to the market in 97, correct? Yeah. 96, 97. And that's the year they brought the pewter and red out.
Right.
The first year.
Yeah.
And they rocked and rolled at the beginning of that season in the pewter and red. Yeah. And they sold
playoffs.
Millions of dollars in merchandise and jersey for the pewter and red because everybody wanted an all-stat, a John Lynch, a Sapp, a Brooks,
right?
All the prominent players, and so that's the magic of switching uniforms around, etc.
To me, and it goes back to, we never used to care about. People never really talked about uniforms back when we were growing up. Nobody really cared that much.
Oh,
and then
we did.
Then they started wearing jerseys and started selling jerseys, and then we have alternate. It's all a money making scheme.
That's correct.
So which is why I don't talk about it, because people can get all, we're going to wear this and that. I don't give a rat's ass. Go out and win a football game. I don't care what
uniform czar here in Dallas. That's all I talk about. I love it. I love uniform talk.
Well, remember, for so many years, the Cowboys didn't want to wear the blue, the dark jersey
at home. Yeah,
70s, 80s at all. They didn't want to wear it, and then so
there were bad luck jerseys in the 70s and 80s. They were bad luck. They're not anymore, though.
Would counter that by making them wear their blue jerseys while they wore white at home.
And the Cowboys started the trend of wearing white at home.
That's right.
So
there we go. Well, we digressed on the jerseys. Stay tuned.
Thank you for hijacking a great show, Tim. I appreciate
Lots of people care, JP. The listeners care. We do this for the listeners.
People care if they roll out in the orange pants. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Did you know that in 1995, Sam Weich's waning days as the coach, he wanted to wear the orange on orange for the first time ever, and several of the veterans, Paul Gruber, Hardy Nickerson, several others went to him and went, no, we ain't doing this. We're not going to look like Friday night high school football here with the orange on orange.
The WFL.
Yes.
What do they call those? But they have a name for them now. They're the color
rush.
Color rush.
Yeah. And remember now, the Buccaneers wore the color rush red, that electric red color rush orange on orange. I remember we were playing the Rams in the final game in St. Louis, as it turned out at the end of that season. We were playing on a Thursday night, I believe, in St. Louis, and the Bucs were in the monochrome red on red with the red stockings, and some of the players were even wearing red shoes, and the Rams were in all yellow jerseys, yellow pants, the yellow. And I said, this is the ultimate ketchup and mustard game.
It absolutely looks like a McDonald's commercial.
It was disgusting. Yes. While we digress.
Can we talk about football?
Do you want to go Rays? Do you want to go Rays, or do you want to go Buccaneers? Which do you want to go here?
Just jump in on the Rays real quick. I
was there. I was there on Tuesday night for the game with the Athletics. Don't call them the Oakland A's, the Sacramento A's. So the Athletics were in town, and everything that we continue to talk about the convenience and the location of the stadium, etc. It all matters, kids, and it adds to the atmosphere. I can't tell you, it's probably 24 people now that I've talked to that have gone to these games that all say the same thing, which is, man, outdoor baseball, it's hot, but also the convenience of it being in Hillsborough County from wherever I live to be able to get to and from. It's what we've been talking about for years and years and years, and hopefully we see it all to fruition. I mean, to that end, we are leaving the stadium with thousands of my closest friends jammed in those concourses at Steinbrenner Field because, again, it's a spring training minor league ballpark. Yeah. It's not conducive the same way as a major league park with multiple exits and multiple ways to get out. I mean, if you want to define bottleneck, when the bottom of the 10th inning ended on Tuesday night, there's about 6,000 or 7,000 people trying to leave at the same time in the concourse, and it was crowded. Right. It was understandably crowded because it's a minor league park. But these are good problems to have because that means you had a good crowd relative at the game.
Yeah, and if you wait 5 minutes,
okay, we're leaving, and I'm just pulling the curtain back. Yeah. I call my mother because my father is with me to say the game is over and we are leaving. And I looked at the timestamp on my phone and it was 10:11 p.m. that I called her to say, we are leaving, we're getting to the car, we're getting home. Typically, if we were leaving from Tropicana Field and having to get out of the parking lot and go across the bridge and get him back to where they live in North Tampa, it was about a 45-minute, 55-minute process.
Right.
I had him in his driveway at 10:33 p.m., 22 minutes after that phone call. If you don't think those things make a difference, they obviously make a difference on coming and going. And I'm not saying that's the same for everybody, because that stadium locale is more convenient for North Tampa. You got out, you headed north, and you were home. You were home and you were able to get home. So I realize if it was at the fairgrounds, it would have probably been a little longer. If it's downtown Ybor, it would probably be a little longer. But this is the whole point and the whole premise of go
it
where
makes
the
difference.
Majority of the paying public lives around it and can conveniently get there 82 times a year. What
actually goes to the games. Yeah,
what a novel
concept. That's why it just boggles my mind that people still talk about, oh, St. Pete can work. It's not a failed look. It's like, this is why Major League Baseball is backing this group.
That's right.
Because they want to build. The other groups may have more money and more capitalization, but they don't.
Couple more points on
job
that.
Done in Tampa.
Absolutely. A couple more points on that, because you had Kurt Bondenhausen on from Sportico.
Thank you for helping me get him on, by the way.
Yep. And one of the interesting things that he said to you is that in several of these deals, Major League Baseball hasn't taken the bid with the most money in the past necessarily. It's what is the right group and what is the group that can maybe, in this case, get the stadium deal done. I mean, to that end,
politically connected.
In Miami, when they built that new stadium and Jeffrey Loria was selling the Marlins, they didn't take the highest bid. And very famously, they took a bid that didn't even have all of the money, which is something he talked to you about.
Yes.
And didn't end up even presenting all of the money at the end. And even more comically, had Derek Jeter as part of the group as the president of the team, and allowed Derek Jeter to trade away one of the top bargaining chips that the Marlins had in Stanton, Giancarlo Stanton, and trade him to who? Jeter's former team, the Yankees, while they didn't have the highest bid and they didn't even have all the money for the team. Right. And if you talk about something that looked nefarious, there's a big word on a Thursday before July. All of that looked nefarious that happened.
The guy that was going to buy the Marlins, who ended up buying Inter Miami, the guy that was going to buy him had all the money.
Right.
And wouldn't have had to trade Stanton.
The point
because they
is,
could have kept him. But they wanted to get Jeter in.
Yes. Yeah. They didn't take the highest bid, and they didn't even have all of the money. So Major League Baseball, to your point, is involved in these deals, and especially in this deal, on what are they going to accept. And the thing that I will say as we continue to float along here in July, as long as it's quiet, that's a good thing. It was quiet for a while.
Things are moving in the right direction.
Moving in the right direction, and let's hope that there's an announcement at some point here in July. They have an agreement. And then it's going to go to Major League Baseball for approval, hopefully on a fast track. And then what about the stadium? Where does the stadium go?
Tampa.
Is it worked out? And just because we're not hearing all of that right now doesn't mean that it hasn't been in progress and isn't ongoing.
It has been.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned on that front.
No
all right,
question.
So now do you want to go back and forth with a little Buccaneer?
Yeah, let's do it.
On a lazy July 4th weekend Thursday. Do you want to go a little Buccaneer top 10, top 5 talk? You want to do that?
So the Buccaneers asked you, some of us in the media that have been covering the team for a long time, to do a top 50 list. And so we came up with our top 50 list, and I've ranked them. We're just going to do top 10 today.
You're going to do top 10. Okay. I gave you my top 5, and Timmy, I sent that in the backstage in the chat as well. So you want to go top 10?
Yes.
Go ahead. Your world on visiting.
All right, so I'll start. And so number 1, and I don't care how much you yell at me, I'm not going to change. I'm doing a 1A and B, and I'm doing them in alphabetical order. And I don't care.
Wait. You're going to start with number 1. You're not going to do this descending like the top 40 countdown or whatever.
I think when we get to 10, there's more discussion. So I'm just going to start at number 1.
All right.
And it's in alphabetical order. Rondé Barber and Derek Brooks, 1A and 1B, and now alphabetical order. So it can be Derek Brooks and Rondé Barber. I'm not going to choose. I don't care how much you make me try to do it. I'm not going to do it.
So
and I don't
right
care
off
if you call me a homer.
You have set the tone with I'm a weenie and I can't come up with the number one player on the list. You've set the tone.
Yes.
Sometimes these debates, you got to have an answer. You got to have an answer on.
That's my answer, and I'm sticking to the final answer. Final answer.
Final answer is you're going 1A.
Me if you have to. I'm not.
So I went. Timmy's got this. I went number 1, Derek Brooks, and I went number 2, Leroy Selman, the original Buccaneer. When we talked 1976,
I got him number 3.
How Leroy was. I went Mike Evans number 3 on my list with the building Hall of Fame resume and the longevity, and Evans is not done as of yet. I went Tom Brady number 4 for the impact, and I know in my criteria, they didn't give us a criteria. In my criteria, they didn't say, hey, it's longevity. In my criteria, you can make the argument those are the 2 most spectacular back-to-back seasons the Buccaneers have ever had. Because the 79 year was followed up with an 80 year where you didn't go to the playoffs. The Super Bowl year of 02 was followed up with an 03 where you had a losing season and didn't go to the playoffs. So you can make the argument, and I am making the argument, that the 2020 and 2021 seasons are the 2 most spectacular back-to-back years, and they were drastically enhanced by Tom Brady being there. And he even had a playoff year in his 3rd year. Didn't have as good a year, fell off in the 3rd year. But I put him number 4 in terms of impact on the list. And we'll go back and forth, I'm sure, on that. And then I had Rondé Barber.
You know where I have Brady in the top 10?
You do not have him in the top 10, I bet.
How'd you know that? How do you know me too well?
I could just
I don't have him in my top 10.
You don't have him in your top 10. And again,
you got to be longer tenured.
You're knocking the longevity.
Mercenaries not allowed.
Well, and I'm using the fact in my rankings that he's more associated with the Patriots, obviously. Yeah. Nobody thinks of him as a Buck unless you're a Bucs fan.
Yeah. But but one of the issues that we have, we have to smile at, is when you start going down this list and you get down beyond like 20 or 25, you start struggling with.
Oh, I get him. He's in my top 20, but he's not in my top 10.
Who do we recognize as all-time Buccaneers once we get to 27 and 29 and 33 in a top 50?
And then you can come off of that, but at least for the top 10, I would not put him in my, and I didn't put him in my top 10.
All right.
I again, for the reasons that I shared, say those 2 seasons are the 2 most amazing back-to-back years this franchise has had in its previous 49 years.
I would agree with that, but if I'm doing top 10 all-time Buccaneers, they have to be Buccaneers.
Are you saying Tom Brady wasn't a Buccaneer? You're just saying you remember him more for his Patriot career. Yeah, but he was here, and it still counts. So.
He gets other. I put him in a Ring of Honor.
So you put the distinction as if they only played for the Buccaneers, like Brooks, like Selman, like Mike Evans, like Rondé, like
I got Lynch in here.
Levante David, like Levante David, they would rank higher because they've only been Buccaneers in your mind.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Huh. Okay.
All right, finish out the JP Weenie top 5 that has 2 number 1s. Give me number 3, 4, and 5.
All right, 4. I got Warren Sapp.
Really? You put him in front of Mike Evans.
I did.
You put him in front of Leroy Selman.
No, Leroy's 3rd.
Oh, Leroy's 3rd on your list.
Leroy's 3rd. Sapp is 4. Yeah.
And?
Evans is 5.
All right. Yeah. I had Sapp at 9, which Sapp would obviously fight me and fight anybody else that he's not in the top 5, top 3, or top 2. Yeah. So I get that. But I went with different criteria on a couple of these. I mean, Hardy.
Where do you have Sapp at 9?
I have Sapp at 9. That's correct.
Ooh.
I have him at number 2.
I'm kind of jealous now. I wish I would have him at 9.
You have Sapp at 2, Tim Ham?
I have Sapp at 2.
Interesting. So you had who at 1?
Derek Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks at 1, Sapp at 2. You have Leroy 3.
I have Leroy Selman at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Rondé Barber at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Evans at 5. John Lynch at 6, Simeon Rice 7.
Ooh, you got Simeon all the way up at 7.
7.
I don't have Simeon in the top 10.
Levante David at 8. Mike Allstott at 10 and at 9, and Doug Williams at 10.
You have Doug Williams at 10. I don't have Doug in the top 10. I don't have Doug in the top 15. I have him at 18 on my list.
All right, so I have Evans at 5.
Mm-hmm.
And at number 6, Mike Allstott.
You're in good hands with Allstott.
I have Mike Allstott at number 6 because I think, and I think this plays a big role in this, is how much one of the biggest fan favorites. If you had fan favorites, Mike would be in the top 3.
Of course.
If you're just saying fan favorites, like just popularity, Mike would be in the top 3.
In the modern, he might be number 1.
Yeah, he might be
the last
number 1.
25 years of the franchise.
He might be number 1
years of the franchise.
Just in fan popularity. So I factor that in. So when I say my top 10 Buccaneers, I factor in how good were you on the field, how popular were you among the fans, did the team win when you were there, and what was your overall impact on the culture of the team? And I would submit to you, those teams were built on defense and running the football and physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Allstott was a unicorn. He was a unicorn. The way he ran the football, I've never, I don't know if I've ever seen a player like him. The way he, not that there weren't tougher guys to bring down in Earl Campbell, but just the how low he got, how much he punished people.
Tremendous leverage and tremendous feet for a big guy. About the only comparable in the modern is Jerome Bettis.
Yeah.
And Bettis was probably faster, but Bettis was built the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Get low, bounce off of people. Those two guys.
What about Van Morris?
Bettis is so revered by the Steeler fans and helped them win Super Bowls, the Bucs.
That's true.
So that's the comparable. But yeah, I just Allstott in the top 10 when I'm looking at a Hardy Nickerson, when I'm looking at a Sapp in the back half of the top 5, a Levante David, and Tristan Wirfs was my 10th player.
Me too. I mean, I got Wirfs at 10.
I mean, you make the argument right now, he's the best offensive lineman this franchise has ever had.
I agree. When
the
his
only
career
other argument is probably Paul Gruber at left tackle, but Gruber only played left tackle.
Yeah, he only played left tackle, and he
Wirfs
never
played
won.
2 positions.
And I know
it's
that's not his fault, but there has to be a little something to bringing people along with you and making other people great and making your team great. There just has to be. And I hate that Paul Gruber played with so many losers, but it is what it is. And he didn't elevate the team.
There's only so much he could do. There's only so much he could do as a left tackle. It's not like you can influence it the same way that a skill position can. And we have to go back and remember that in the late 80s and early 90s, he was a stone wall at left tackle.
Who were his quarterbacks? I mean, you want to start running through his quarterbacks?
You're talking about DeBerg and Vinny
and
Craig Erickson and those kind of guys are in that era before Trent Dilfer in the mid 90s. So yes, but I mean, Gruber famously had at least one season, and it may have been a couple of seasons. He had one season for sure. Did not allow a sack, did not have a holding penalty for 16 games at left tackle against the best pass rusher. And he was going against monstrous pass rushers, 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
Some of them a couple times a year, the likes of Chris Dolman is lining up against him. And I'm trying to remember who else from the Bears on the outside. It was probably late Richard Dent in the 80s that was in this group. And I'm trying to remember who from the Lions or the Packers.
He was lined up against Reggie White,
and Reggie White at the beginning of Reggie White's Packer career. Yes, Gruber was over there at left tackle some, but Reggie White lined up on the left end off right tackle as much as anything else, because Dave Moore tells all those stories where Scott Dill, Jason Odom, and others are trying to block him with Dave Moore. And Reggie was not on the right side of the Packers defensive line. But my point with Gruber is Gruber's on bad teams where he's not holding, he's not allowing sacks. He was widely regarded for a couple of years as one of the best left tackles in football.
Yeah.
And just a quiet, consummate pro. He's in the Ring of Honor. He deserves to get credit. But beyond
he's just
Wirfs,
outside my top 10.
But beyond Wirfs, where else are you going for all-time offensive linemen in your top 20 or your top 25?
Yeah.
While we have this,
So I got Allstott at 6, Simeon at 7, Levante David at 8, John Lynch at 9, and Tristan Wirfs at 10.
So we all kind of have the same top 10, except you don't have Brady in your top 10. But those other names are
Neither one of us have Brady.
Where are they?
You kowtowed to him, but that's okay. You know, I understand.
My friend, I have a Super Bowl.
He might gave you a signed jersey.
I have a Super Bowl ring. I enjoy winning locker rooms, and I got to be in a whole lot of winning locker rooms with that guy.
Did you ever get Brady in
no,
post
he
game?
would never do the post game stuff. I told you.
Did you ever get him in a one-on-one at all?
Did I tell you the one-on-one story that I have? I thought I told you this.
You may have. Yeah,
I've told it at events. I've told it at other places. Why don't I tell it on FanStream JP on July 4th? So this is the second season. So remember, the first season, we could not even be around them. Obviously. Everything is on Zoom. We're not allowed in the locker room. We're not allowed down on the field at all for my job, which was interesting, walking back and forth in the front row of Raymond James Stadium as a sideline guy.
You were such a threat.
Everybody kept asking me, what's it like to be around Tom Brady? I said, it's the same as when he's with the Patriots. I'm watching him on TV the entire time. That's my line. Okay. So now we go to 2021, and they finally allow us after the games to come in the massive hallway at the entrance of the locker room and do post-game interviews as long as we're socially distanced. Remember, if we were socially distanced from the microphone. So in the radio setup, we had a mic on a stand like this microphone set up, and I'm about 6 feet away from that with a cable hooked to another microphone where I can stand in the hall and interview Bruce Arians and interview players. So we were told, and we understood this. He never does anything off the podium after the game. He's just going to go to the podium. After he does something on the field, if he does it with a TV outlet, he'll go to the podium, and that's it. He's never going to do it. All right, so this is the Monday night win at home over the Giants. I vividly remember this. They win the game. It's late night, and so they've gone into the locker room. They're celebrating. We can hear them. We're waiting outside to do player interviews in that hallway outside the locker room doors at Raymond James Stadium. And so I have the mic cable because I'm holding my mic and the cable, and I've got this cable going to a long mic stand. So lo and behold, before any players are brought to me, here comes the Bucs head of security, the now retired Andres Trescastro.
Yes.
Andre. He comes one-on-one with Tom Brady walking right towards me. And Brady has his jersey and shoulder pads off, but he still has the football pants on, the cleats on, the eye black under the eyes, the shirt, and they're walking right at me while I'm standing and holding the cord. So I walk and move out of the way so that they can walk around me, because where they're walking to is the area to go to the suites up the elevator. Right. And he's still in the cleats, and Andres is escorting him, and they're probably going to have another cop, a Tampa police officer, come with us here because we got to get him up to the suite, and he's saying goodbye to the family before they drive home or whatever. And the kids are at the game, and Giselle, they're still together at that point, are at the game. His parents are at the game. They leave. The door closes. All right. In that time, another player comes. I interview the player. I'm waiting on Bruce Arians, and now we're in a commercial, and suddenly the door opens, and it's Brady by himself. So Brady is now come out of the door, and I'm holding the cord in between the standing microphone and my microphone. And he says, "Oh, I'll go around." And I say, "No problem." So when anybody asks me the extent of me interviewing Tom Brady after a game, it is an exchange about him trying to walk through the area where I was to do an interview with someone else.
Where you were interviewing all the other players.
Yes, right. And it's, "Okay, I'll go around and no problem." That is the extent of the post-game interview.
A hard-hitting question. A hard-hitting question, I might add.
Yes, that's the extent of it, but
well done.
I still will trade it. I will trade all of that in for the fact that they won all the time, and it was
in order
wild.
For you to get that interview, that one-on-one with Tom, you said when if you ever do a top 10 list, you better put me in it.
Well,
so you're just paying that off now. But that great in-depth interview.
Yes,
you got,
the hard-hitting.
Yeah,
do what we can at the.
You sell out.
You need to get that on a T-shirt.
You call me a weenie.
I'll go around.
No problem. Yes, that was the extent of my Brady conversation. So, in any event, there we go.
I did ask Brady his last podium question of his career.
So you're the one that ran him off and made him retire once and for all.
Yeah.
Right. So that I got that going for me, which is nice.
All right. To quote Caddyshack,
like the Dalai Lama.
So on my deathbed,
you'll receive total consciousness. Yes, we can quote the whole movie now for the rest of the day. Right. By the way, Caddyshack 45 years old this summer.
And they have a sequel coming out, right?
No, they had a sequel.
I'm thinking of Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore. Caddyshack
Happy Gilmore coming out.
that we completely disavow.
Wasn't there a 3 too that was just awful?
I don't
Even
know,
worse
but
than the
2
second
had
one?
Jackie Mason playing the Rodney Dangerfield character.
Yeah.
It had
Can't do
Dan
it.
Aykroyd playing the Bill Murray character
Yeah, it
as
did not go over well.
just terrible.
And we had this discussion before, and tell me if you agree. Naked Gun 2's coming out, or Naked Gun Next, whatever.
No, they did like 3 Naked
Next
Guns.
generation.
This is the
so
next generation.
They're redoing so Naked Gun 4. Or
I
whatever.
don't know. I don't think I have any interest in Liam Neeson and
I do.
No.
Timmy will go on our
Who's even
behalf.
going to be in it? Like, who's going to be? Do we even know?
Liam Neeson is the lead, and I want to say Pamela Anderson, who
Pam Anderson is the love interest.
Pam Anderson, who just turned 58 years young, by the way.
Looks great.
All right, so she's in it, but I have no interest in that. Timmy will see it on our behalf.
I will, and I will report back.
In the meantime, we have established numerous things. The Rives clan headed to go watch the F1 movie tonight, so we'll compare notes at a later date. Everybody be safe with the 4th of July. We've also established that we like Rays baseball in Tampa for proximity and traffic and the drastic number of people that will go in Hillsborough County. We like that. And that JP's officially a weenie with his top 5 list because he has 2 number 1s.
Right,
you got to make a decision, brother.
How was the California trip?
California trip was outstanding, by the way. It was a lot of fun to go to Disneyland. I also was working a little boxing in the Jake Paul pay-per-view at the Honda Center, which the Honda Center where the Ducks play is only about 3 miles down from Disneyland. It's right across the stadium parking lot from where the Angels play baseball as well. So it was kind of interesting. Couple of quick photos that were not on social media. This should be on the brochure of the twins turning 17 with Mickey Mouse.
Look at that.
On the brochure. And this
do you have like one of those when they were like 6? That
I should. And this one was mocked because we color coordinated. I think this was on social media, and I did not wear the ears at the entrance to California Adventureland. So
I have a hard-hitting question for you.
Please. Yes,
DJ.
More hard-hitting. Yes.
You live 90 miles roughly from Orlando and Disney World, but you travel 3,000 miles across the country, by the way, with a layover at Love Field Airport.
Correct. I was looking you up. I was looking you up for Love Field and a little food. Yes, I have been
20 minutes from Love Field.
I have been chastised.
Why do you go to California?
I have been mocked and chastised for why, when it's a car ride in the morning over to Disney World and then a car ride back to your own bed in your own hotel room, did you spend thousands and thousands of dollars to go 3,000 miles away? And I said,
sure there's a reason,
because they turned 17 one time. So there you go. We went and did it.
Yep.
It's different. And Disneyland is different than Disney World.
And it is different. It's more compact. What if I told you that you could fit 3 Disneylands inside of Disney World?
Oh,
that's how small Disneyland is.
Disneyland actually fits into Disney World Magic Kingdom parking.
Probably true. And
our Six Flags Over Texas in Arlington, adjacent to all of our new stadiums we have, is bigger than Disneyland.
Yes, and it's amazing because you can get around to everything in a matter of a few minutes to go do everything. We hit it hard on a week ago this morning. We hit it hard at the rope drop at the beginning, and we had ridden like 7 things in 2.5 hours because it was easy to just walk to the next thing and walk to the next thing. So it is different. It's wild that Anaheim's kind of its own little city. It's got its own government, its own municipality. It's 40 miles east of LA. It's wild how all that is. So it was neat to be out there, but it was good to get out of the communist state of California and come on back to the great state of Florida here for the rest of the summer.
All right, my friend.
Listen, always good to be with you, boys. Let's do this again later in the summer. Everybody enjoy the summer. The vacation will be football before we know it.
There he is, TJ Rives. Tom Brady's still out. He got his one-on-one, so puts him in the top 10.
Good times. Good times.
That
was a fun romp today, wasn't it? I told you it was going to be lively.
I know. And I know you guys are going to be wrong. It's okay.
Yeah.
Leave it to an outsider to pick the best list for the Bucs top 10.
Daniel Rivera says Ybor Harbor's the clear front runner now for the Newsray ball. I agree. It's going to be Love Field in Dallas. Not too bad. Great history there. Great history.
Yeah. Unless your name's Kennedy.
Yeah. Where the coup officially took place.
That's it.
Yeah.
The swearing in of LBJ was done on board Air Force One.
Nathan Elliott says, when I travel and I ask people who I've obviously coordinated the assassination of John F. Kennedy, we all know now. When I travel and I ask people who's the first player that comes to mind talking about the Buccaneers, Mike Allstott. That's why he's got to be in your top 10.
I had him.
He's got to be in your top 10.
Yeah.
Ricky Bell's in my top 50, but not my top 10, by the way, Daniel. I just the early Bucs do not, because I wasn't here. You know, most of you grew up here. They have a little different feel. But for me, I'm much more 97 on. That's when I got here. I'm a little biased, I admit it. All right.
I don't understand the hatred that you have for the creamsicles if you weren't even here for the creamsicles.
My thoughts about the creamsicle are losers.
Okay.
Losers. Growing up a Dolphin fan on the East Coast, we always mocked the Buccaneers for being 0-26, losers. You know, the Dolphins won the Super Bowl in their 6th season. So we were, and the Dolphins, I grew up with the 72 Dolphins, the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. And we, it's not like the what do we call it? Teal. The Dolphin teal is one of those, power colors either. But when I always think of the creamsicles, we think of the Buccaneers and losing because it was so dramatic in the beginning. So that's that's my.
Right. Well, it makes sense. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I won't razz you about it. It's fine.
They never. They got the 1 year they went to the AFC Championship, but that was a couple good years in creamsicle. But for the most part, no. And then you bring them back and you lose. You just keep losing. 1-6. What 6 losses in a row? They won them the first time, or maybe 5 times in a row. Bad, just bad. All right, our thanks to Erik Erlendsson, who joined us earlier. If you missed that, great interview with him. Lightning fans, we'll put that out for you as well. And, of course, the great TJ Rives. And if you missed my rant on B at the top of the hour, well, you'd want to go back and watch that too. That was fun.
No show tomorrow?
No show tomorrow. No live show tomorrow. Well, we might have a replay for you. It's 4th of July. Have some respect for our country, will you please? Go out and have some respect. Go out and get drunk and barbecue.
I call that a Thursday, JP.
Right, or a Tim Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back Monday with more fun and frivolity. See you then. That's how we do that, Ethan. How are you? Nice to meet you. Intern Danny, yeah.
Hey, nice meeting you.
Sorry I couldn't welcome you in.